On the 18th July 1944, during a strategy conference at the Wolfschanze, a fly began buzzing around the room, allegedly landing on Hitler's shoulder and on the surface of a map several times, irritating Hitler. One version of the story states that Hitler ordered Dargis to dispatch the nuisance. Dargis suggested that, as it was an airborne pest, the job should go to the Luftwaffe adjutant Nikolaus von Below. Hitler took Dargis aside, dismissed him on the spot, and had him transferred to the Eastern Front. On the 18th July 1944, during a strategy conference at
Hey there, imaginary friends, disciples of Doom. Doom kinda sounds better than depression. Give me a moment here. Been a while. Need to remember all the stuff I need to do to make this the least scuffed as possible, and it's going to be scuffed. Power went out a bit before, and yesterday internet was choppy, and this is probably the only moment that I can stream in the foreseeable future. And with this kind of internet, why even bother? But still, let's keep it going. Among other things, the stream wouldn't start. Don't you just hate? And this is gonna be a reoccurring theme when some program updates and you don't see any improvements, but you do have to deal with some issues. Not really a nice surprise. Internet is real bad, lazy blood elf. So let's not move, and maybe things will be alright. Damn, but you ain't got no legs kinda moment. Okay, so yeah, do we use that as a segue? Why not? Why not? I wanted to make segments and not go into current events, but it's a new expansion after all, so why not? And I want to start with something, and I think of somewhat of a solution. For example, with this one, I had, I think, 3 at least level 10ish tunes that I've used that what I forgot how it's called. You know, the inactive stuff where you get new gear and bags and things reset. Why the fuck am I? Never mind. My point is, on Alliance 1, yeah, fuck, we're gonna circle around here. So, sadly, I wasted time. One of the let's first set things up, then I'll go out of game so I can keep my eye on the internet, so I wouldn't talk completely in vain. Why are we here? For one specific reason. So I thought we aren't able to use any of the portals. I mean, even the fucking Silver Moon one. I didn't go downstairs. I just went there now, you know, for the less crowd and to show you that. But I don't understand any of it. But why the fuck can't I go to Silver Moon as a low level? What? I need some intro quest to go to Silver Moon? That's one of those updates where you get some great stuff, you know, like flying and war banks and let's not, you know, go into that. And then what you gonna get? Some alive world? No, you ain't. You're just gonna have people set in place and then, you know, hastily go and do the math. Is that something they really need, they want to do? There's lack of understanding, I think. I mean, based on, let's say, I don't think if I say Zoomers, it means a certain age, but a certain mindset. You know, people that will go on a autopilot and just do stuff. Maybe they have something on the other monitor and they will not bother thinking about it. They just know they need to do that and they will do it. I mean, most of stuff like this I've talked about before. Let's see what we're gonna do. So one of the things that's gonna add to that white circle is yesterday I was setting stuff up a segue I forgot, and I was on a low level toon that unfortunately had trade up, and I of course turned it off, but not before, fortunately. There was a specific ad, it was on Ragnaros, so good game there, where one of the advertisements, because that's what it is, used to be boosters, now it's proper trade, said something, and I wanted to use this for some other reason, this thumbnail, but I think I'm gonna use that instead. He said, are you tired of paying something like 20k for someone to press a button? Something like that. I think I'm gonna use that. Speaking of which, okay, this. Oh. There. So, I mean, it doesn't matter even if this breaks. We had a 14-minute stream, which should be more than enough, but I'm gonna go all the way. So there's a naughty innuendo there if you really are looking for one. So yeah, so yeah, that kinda is telling you that, you know, some people, I mean, once again, it's, you know, that median, and there are people that have bunch of gold and are willing to spend it, though unlikely, because they're probably the people that will least spend it, and there are people that have barely any gold, and they are not looking forward to giving 20k here and there or farming for it. So, you know, just something I wanted to mention. Talking about thumbnails, I have a bunch of those AI and screenshot folders from the last expansion, so I'll either let it rot like now, or we will have to go through it and get rid of it one way or another. And now let's go back to the other segue. Yeah, so, you know, on this toon I had to manually, first, sadly, one of those moments when I wanted to be a smartass, so I leveled through those quests to get to the dragon flying. I mean, one would expect for it to come in the pre-patch. It didn't, so I assumed it ain't coming. Innuendos. But I didn't know it would come with the X-Pack, so you know how much I hate questing. So sadly, I went through that. And there I met, while doing it, I met one of those Zoomers. While I was, you know, taking my time and, you know, trying to fucking figure out where to fucking go next, he was just going at it. Not a fucking second of doubt, of you know, not knowing what to do at any given moment. he was just going at it. Bam, 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 bam. Sorry, I should have moved the mic there. But that's what those kind of things are for. Not really for, but the people that don't have issues with stuff like that. And now to get to the... I mean, they are good things, they are nice things, and I am for options and having people, giving people the option to do the things they want to do it. And that's the problem. Those are all good things. However, it's like you have a newborn, you put it in the cradle and then throw a bunch of, I don't know, maybe armor, other kind of stuff, whatever, onto it. You know, it needs a bit time to breathe. So maybe for a new player, they would be blissfully unaware. They would just go as it is. But most people that are not new to WoW, they will feel overwhelmed. You sit down, you say, okay, let's go, and you realize there will be tons of stuff. For me, okay, and those are nice stuff, and there are people that like to tinker and go into stuff, but like everything, it's a matter of ratio. How many people are into what? And I would argue that the numbers would be on the side of the less hustle. And because I didn't think this through, and I want to avoid my usual digressions, I will say that's something I've noticed in a stream of WoW of someone that is not usually WoW streamer. I mean, it's Twitch chat, they're gonna have their fun, and maybe it's loud minority, but I've noticed people are not connecting and not getting any answers either way, you know, chat or the streamer, and yeah, hurdle at every step. And those are not some, you know, big issues, you know, some bad stuff. They are good stuff, but it piles up. So one gets annoyed. So what is my previous proposition? Make settings account wide. So for example, action bars got messed up. First you didn't have any, then you had them all. They were never as before, and it's a new expansion, stuff happens. But if you have bunch of toons and I don't know, you have to go into 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and on each one of them you have to go into action bars and set them up on top of everything else, you will get annoyed. But if just like for keybinds, you have that option that everything is account wide, it would be somewhat easier. Sure, there will be many other issues, but that would be at least one thing out of the way. And now I didn't once check the text document. There is something I wanna address here and then check the text document, because I don't know how the things are gonna go. It's a thing I don't like going into, but you know, there was some critical mass of things going on. Now, about this expansion, some protagonists, I will not go into that. That is, you know, everybody can decide for themselves. Now, I will say that people can feel if something is organic and or if it's pushed. And of course, whenever something is in your face and pushed, and people will revolt, people will defend themselves because they have just cause. And I mean, I didn't want to make Warcraft story, and after they mentioned it again, I said, you know, I might as well, because I think I can assume the reasons, but I think they missed the mark there. They should have taken that extra step. I can understand why they didn't, but it was half-baked like this. But I still, you know, what the hell, I might use it for the stream. I wanted to go there, and my computer started working like crazy, so I got the fuck out. But I'm stubborn and foolish, so one time before I wanted to go away, I said, you know, let me try it one more time. And I did. Things were working a bit more smoothly there, but still I couldn't do anything, so I turned it off. And when I wanted to turn off my PC, it wouldn't. Now, maybe it was something else, but let's use that. Let's use that and say that they were checking my data. And what did they find? Did they, I mean my or anybody else's? What did they find? Did they find looking for, okay, let's not make this personal, not mine, yours, your searches, not mine. They went through your searches. What did they find? I mean, not only every other company, everybody else. Everybody else looks for everybody else's data. On the average, what do they find? Do they find, I don't know, nice titties? Search? Of course not. Don't be silly. That would be awful. You pervert. Of course not. They would search for Paralympics. That's what they would find, because that's what you search for, right? And you are keeping up with it, because you're not a hypocrite, what? Right? just like them. They are not hypocrites. They watch women's sports, they buy those tickets, and that's why they wanna check those boxes. You know, they support those kind of things. That's why they are tweeting and retweeting all the Paralympic sports events right now. Of course they do. They watch that. And that's why they want that in gaming as well. Because they are not hypocrites. They just are into that stuff, which is fine. And that's what the majority of the player base is into also. And they want to cater to the majority of their player base. They know what they want. And they want you to feel comfortable and like their game and feel connected to it. And that's why those games always succeed. You are not there to have fun, to feel empowered and strong and beautiful and everything. You are there to keep it real. Of course you are. Why don't you understand? And I've noticed something. Is that some coming from a former communist country, I've noticed some commie tricks. Maybe you don't, but I do. Those are all commie tricks that you now have in your totalitarian countries. You think you are not in one? Oh, I would beg to differ. And this is why I don't show up in searches probably. So, yeah, is it a commie thing? Has it been done before? I don't know, maybe Austro-Hungarian monarchy tricks? I don't know, maybe it goes even deeper, but not something I'm really into, just something I recognize from time to time. It's those kind of tricks that have been done and are being done. And I just wanted to mention that to get it out, because one also trick there is, if you have a group and what you do is you take the main group and get them in a bad spot and use any other smaller groups and boost them, because what is the goal? The goal is to destroy the core, destroy the healthy mind, destroy the defense mechanisms, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. Then money would be the main power and everybody else is just a mercenary. So there's no opposition. However, the reason, and I'm gonna use that Warlords or Dreno dropped concept of mongrel horde, why that doesn't work is because every group, I would argue, in its core is the same in a way. It has to be functioning, and in order to be functioning, most of it need to be a certain way, a functioning way. So, you know, a relatively I can't think of the word. I guess functioning is the only one I can think of. You know, most of them are people that just wanna do their thing and coexist, and everything else is a tip of the iceberg, minority of a minority that gets pushed. And that's why those kind of plans fail. Now, some stuff that come to mind. Let's now go into game, maybe even move, and then check the... Although, do we have time? I don't wanna get fucking kicked. I better go in now. We're gonna chance it, fuck it. I don't know if I said that nicely, but fuck it. Also, it's mixing apples and oranges. All people have their own way of looking at things, and no matter how some want, you can't just put them in a box. I told what I had about the early access before. Aside from that, it was a bit confusing. I had no clue when was what, and I play randomly and was in the game exactly the evening it got launched for us plebeians, and was thinking, I'm gonna walk into some lag fest, but I don't know how it was for the paying customers, but I barely noticed anything. So from that point of view it was okay. Maybe not from for other reasons. Yeah, there was some issues. I mean, I of course read through the contract, the new contract that was offered. However, because I have everything scaled up, I couldn't press accept. So if anyone finds himself in a similar position, the two things I know you can do is either, of course, get the fuck out. On the side from the play button there's that cogwheel. I think you can reset stuff there, or of course delete the, after you get the fuck out, you delete the what the fuck folder. But because I didn't wanna go through the settings and see what was how, after I accepted I just...
Adventurers, we shall depart for the Dragon Isle.
Oh, how I miss these moments. Not. So I just restored the folder and did it that way. I mean, either, probably or, they didn't check that specific case and are new to the game and position. Also, speaking of which, one of the things is, you know, spells not being in the taskbar automatically. Somehow they seem to shine a bit less now. Also, if you are on a class that has various, I don't know, stances or something, it will portray the one in your stance is not in the taskbar, although you don't need it there, and it is already in the other stance. Something that was already was working as intended before but doesn't anymore. Okay, we can still talk. Stream crashed 5 days ago. Yeah, contract, I talked about that. Yeah, I guess this would be... I guess I mentioned that in a way. No matter what you have, you will have people, you have someone that is into it. But like I said, it's a matter of ratio. How many people are into it and how many are not. And for example, you have already one of the Bronzebeard family that is not, you know, people still have PTSD from his role, or I don't know, call it what you want. And you have one other now, is it Brann'd, that you gonna, I thought it's gonna be a whole expansion, but it's gonna be just one season. Still, I think even that would be too much. I mean, maybe one would be, the one delve would be fine. I mean, you decide for yourself, but after that, I think they had from Hearthstone that group of explorers, also one, you know, Indiana Jones inspired toon, and you know, all the others. And I mean, it can be something else. It could be Dagran, it could be, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what kind of delves would be, but for example, if they are inspired by kobolds, you probably have some toon from Elven Forest that you could use as your helper, or something like that, you know. I think I would go crazy after one season of just Brann'd. Maybe that's just me, but probably not. Yeah, I almost forgot that. Stuff come to mind. For example, something completely different now. Star Wars, and maybe, yeah. Well, speaking of this, you know, the Return of the Jedi was supposed to be called Revenge of the Jedi, but they changed it because revenge is not in the Jedi's ways, and no, then, but they have Force as their main thing, let's say. So revenge is not, but Force is. That's kinda seems counterintuitive. I mean, if revenge is not, doesn't go well with Jedi, then Force shouldn't either. We should be balanced or something. And while staying in that universe, I'm not gonna mention anything, but you know, they don't come up with new stuff. They just wanna plant themselves in already existing IPs. Just make, you know, warcraft toon and 7 representatives or 7 letters. You know, make something new and then do it however you would like. Okay, doesn't matter. Yeah. Fuck. Do we have the time? I guess I'll just pick some stuff that are a bit more current, and this is have gone for way too long already. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. About the hypocrisy. I was banned from WoW subreddit because I posted a screenshot of a bot, and they banned me because of that. And then the other day, there was, I don't know what happened there, but for the longest time there was a post with the title "Fuck 'em," and mod left it up saying if someone has a problem they can whisper them so they can ban them easier. So that's about that. Pretty kinda telling. And so I was glad I'm banned then and there, probably by the same person. Reddit mods all look alike to me. Yes, I'm exposed, I'm modest. And yeah, okay, I can talk about this some other time. Do I talk about... Okay, I can talk about this some other time. Let's now, it is about power fantasy. While talking about that, it is about a power fantasy, and everybody has one, and it is about that, I mean, for everyone to a point, and you know, different ones. Now, what kind of power fantasy you wanna cater and to who, that's up to you. What the ratio you think exists. I mean, the other day on TV there was some show that some Miss Marple or something, and in it, I mean, I should have known what I'm getting into because one of the suspects was last name was Strange. Wait a minute. Okay, I got scared there. Let's do this and end this. So in it, I mean, one of the things, they were on a yacht and everybody was, you know, dressed up. Only one guy was, you know, in some short pants and shirt, short sleeved shirt, I don't know how to say it. And Miss Marple just, oh, I don't know, Mrs. Marple, I don't know what her name was, just throws him overboard, even he can't swim. He starts drowning, and there's that one guy there, he just takes off jacket, you know, and jumps in fully clothed, takes him out, he drowns there for a while, and, you know, naughty Miss Marple, you know, she just smiles, and then it was Mr. Strange all along. And can you hear that? So then the main police inspector says, "Oh, it's you, we got you." And then, "Oh, you would never got me if it wasn't for Mrs. Marple." Some power fantasy. So what the fuck was that? But then I realized, that's what it is. That's the target audience for that fantasy. And for example, in the latest cinematic, it went back and forth, but there was a bit of the female fantasy there. Now, call it what you want, but it's catering to a certain demographic. And that's where we get to what's the demographic you are catering to. That's the question for a certain company. So I think sometimes some get confused, and then we maybe come to a circle where the main, like I said, the main core gets ignored and taken for granted, and some smaller groups are getting pushed now. What kind of economy tactic is that? I wouldn't know, but usually seems not a good one. I mean, probably not a nice stream to have after I don't know how many weeks, but something that probably should be said out loud. And I'm quite a useful idiot, so I feel bad ending it on this, but that's probably what we're gonna do. Do we say something nice? Is there something nice to say? I already closed it all up. Let's chill here for some moments and see if there's something nice to say. And if not, we'll just
see you soon. Real soon.
fuck it. Bye.